Yeah, good morning, everybody. This is Ryan here with you again. It is Friday, May 8th, about 3 o'clock in the morning here. I'm at home in Ohio. Um, Unfortunately, not very good news for you as far as the load board and loads and all that go. I was hoping to come to you with a really positive video today, but that kind of fell apart yesterday afternoon. Um, I've got a short load I got to take down by Cincinnati that I picked up in Cleveland. And if you watch my videos, I don't typically do short haul regional stuff like this, especially, I like to grab something and get on the other side of the Mississippi River and hang it out there for a little while and come back. So that's typically not what I do. I had a load that I booked back on April 29th that was out of Kentucky, a load of cabinets going at two stops in Phoenix and terminating out in the Los Angeles area. And then I got a really good load out of Los Angeles that was a FedEx load, drop and hook out of San Bernardino, that was going up to Salt Lake City. That was like at 275 a mile on the load board rate, so close to right around $2 or so for me. And those are usually pretty good loads if they don't cancel. But like I said, I picked up this, so I booked that the longer load first. Then a lot of times, I kind of, when I book those loads, I kind of go into it, thinking maybe I'm gonna have the deadhead there. But I'll look around and I'll find, sometimes I'll get lucky and I'll find a short load that pays well, that'll get me, 300-400 miles to where I gotta go. But I got a load out of Cleveland that's going down to Cincinnati. So I called the agent yesterday on that Kentucky to California load, just because it was supposed to be ready on Wednesday morning on the 6th, and I just wanted to check in and make sure everything was good to go before because it was about another 100 miles down there in Kentucky from Cincinnati where I'm picking that up. So I called up the agent and asked him, hey, is that all ready to go? I'm going to be there, after I drop this load off tomorrow down in Cincinnati on the park, and I'm going to go in there and pick up this other load at about 2 a.m. Saturday morning, then start heading to Phoenix. So I called them and they kept moving me around the different people, and finally got back and said, yeah, the customer loaded that on another carrier's trailer, and then kind of act like they've had a lot of trouble today with this client. And so kind of what I'm gathering is it's kind of getting tribal out here as far as with the brokers and bigger carriers, other carriers. And what I kind of gathered, I can't say it's 100% fact at this point, but like I said, what I think what happened is I think you got these carriers calling this place, or brokers calling this place and saying, hey, we'll do it for this X amount, basically cutting the rates and taking loads from us, from Landstar, is what kind of sounded like what was going on down there, because they're loading, I guess there was a bunch of loads that got loaded on another carrier's trailer. So, and it wasn't even a very good paying load, really. I mean, I think it was like at 210 on the load board rate, so I was down at like, there are a lot of accessorials on these cabinet loads that get broken out, the stop pay, plus there are a driver assist where you help unload. So you get a little bit over 70% usually the time you figure in that extra money. So you make a little bit more, you get a little bit more of the cut. But even at that rate, I mean, usually those cabinet loads like that, I've usually, up in the 240s, 250s, even, 275. So it was a low rate to begin with. And what it seems like to me is that you've got these other carriers and brokers calling in and basically undercutting us when it's already, I wouldn't want to do it much cheaper than that anyways. So after that canceled, I had to call, I don't know why they didn't call me earlier, so I was a little frustrated about that. But I had to call my other agent with the FedEx load and out of Los Angeles to up to Salt Lake City and cancel that, and they weren't too happy. And I got on the board, and there was literally, I put my rate down to $1.85 on the load board rate, which is basically $1.25 to me. If things are going well, and there's basically two loads on there, and one of them requires a 48-foot trailer. That's not, I can't even do that because I have a 53. So I guess maybe restrictions getting into the locations with the 53, they won't take a 53. It has to be 48. So I can't do that, and so there's really nothing else. Like I said, I had to cancel the other load. I'm kind of looking on the board now, even looking out next week. It just doesn't look good at all, and I'm going to show you guys on the load board what there is and show you my little settlement update. with that Canadian load last week. So yeah, I'll show you guys what we got on the load board here and kind of my searches I got set up. And they said I don't think I'm probably gonna end up coming back home today. I got an open appointment down there. I could drop any time. I'm gonna leave here probably around 6 o'clock or so. After traffic clears up, get through Columbus down there after that clears out, and probably just come back up home and sit out the weekend and see what happens. Because the only thing I see coming down, I was looking for loads coming out of there, even stuff going west, which that stuff comes up in my 500-mile radius out of my house anyways, and there's still nothing. There's a few loads going up to like Massachusetts and upstate New York and all that, but I mean, if you know that area like I do, in my experience, is that the rates aren't even that great. I mean, I'm looking at the board rates, so like 240-ish, 230-ish to go up there, so it puts me down, you know, in the $1.75 range roughly, if that. So it just, if I go up there, I'm probably going to end up running 450, 500 miles back home empty, plus there's a lot of toll roads if I come across the thruway up in New York, and the fuel tax is really high in Pennsylvania. So either way, you're going to pay. So it really just doesn't make, for what I would get to go up there at the time I come back, it's basically I'd just be driving just to cover my expenses. So at this point, unless something pops up today on my search alerts, I'm just going to run back up here, back up home, and wait it out through the weekend. And if the weather holds out, we got some farm work to do, and maybe put out some more of those videos for you guys on that type of stuff, since we've had a warm reception on some of those videos. But I'll shut up here and show you, get on the laptop and show you the load board and what's on there in my searches. And I actually printed out my settlement statements since I'm here at home. But so here is that Canadian load I did last week. Yeah, Nakups, BC. I can't pronounce that, so if you're from there, you know it. I apologize. Over to Minneapolis. Basically, my cut was a little over $2,000. I took out $800 for fuel on this because I kind of knew going in that I may have to drive home back from Minneapolis back to Ohio, because there wasn't a lot popping up. I actually tried to book 2 loads and they both canceled on me like as soon as I booked them. So it cost me like $150 to drive back home versus sitting there all weekend until Monday. And then I still got $250 left on my fuel card. So I had all my other expenses come out, and even after taking that $800 out, it put me a little over $1,000 there on that for that week. And like I said, I still have $250 left on my fuel card, so I could basically say I'm at $1,300 with what I had. And taking out a truck payment and all that, and a little bit of insurance that's not on here, that's on my end. It basically puts me, you know, right around $900 for 4 days. So I mean, it's not a terrible week by most standards, but definitely not where I wanted to be at. But like I said, I'm at home, and down here you can see all the loads I had stacked up. I had at Mount Sterling to the Corona, which is you know, by Los Angeles, and I had that San Bernardino to Salt Lake. Then this Parma to Sabina, that's where I'm going here this morning. But so yeah, so basically those two, the 2 good loads are canceled. So so that's a settlement that I got paid on Wednesday. So we're right at a little over 30,000 since February 26th is when I went back to Landstar. I believe with Mercer I was right around, I think I'm like at 22,000. So basically at this point for the year, I'm a little over 50,000 on 1099 income. But get on the computer. So a lot of people have been asking about volume, and this is the amount of loads that are on the Landstar board right now. Just a little over 23,000, and that's everything. That's not just the loads for today or the next week. That's for everything from now to the end of time that's on the board. That's a total amount of loads. So and a lot of those might not even be good loads. So it's about 6-7 weeks ago we were at 45 to 50,000 loads on there. So the volume is definitely down. So back to my searches. So this is where I'm going today, and I had a search set up. And see this load. So this is going up to Massachusetts, 246. It's 41,000 pounds, hazmat. And like I said, that's basically going to pay me about $1,200 maybe. And I'm gonna have to drive back home. I mean, I've even went and done a search because that's one of the cool things. And this JDP, a lot of times they do a lot of brokered freight. So chances are, even if I did call about this, it won't even be available. Then you can search over here for loads at your destination, and this kind of showed me for the day. So there's basically 3 loads on here that are available for next Monday if I took that load and went up there. And the rates aren't that great. I mean, even that short load, it's 84 miles, it's paying $455, but it's like I'm gonna do $250, so it's not even worth. I don't even like to. If something's less than $1,000, I mean, the time I waste a day picking it up and sitting there 2-3 hours and taking it somewhere, it's not even worth my time. So I just don't mess with that stuff like that. But go back. So this is it. There's basically 22 loads. That's for tomorrow or even Saturday, I think I put on there. And I mean, this short stuff, usually short stuff pays a lot higher per mile. But there's nothing that interests me on there. So here's my West Coast load or search. This was that load that I was talking about, requires a 48-foot trailer. And that one pays halfway decent considering the circumstances right now. Is at 240. I'm going out to Modesto. But this Florence, Kentucky, I might $1.81. That puts me, like I said, I'm like at $1.23 or so at that rate, which my costs, like I said, are about 75 cents. I mean, I might, I don't know, I might just set it out next week and see what happens. I really don't want to take something that cheap, but based on like I set my search up 500-mile radius, a minimum $3,000 on the revenue. And all the West Coast, like 20 states out there, pretty much everything west of the Mississippi. And these are the loads I have for 7 days, from today until next Friday. There's 9 loads with that search criteria, with a minimum of $1.80, which puts me like at $1.22, $1.23. So this is it. So usually at that criteria, that low of a rate, I mean, a couple weeks ago, I would probably see 100 loads on here. But I know most of these agents, and this NNV, they're out of they're like Burbank, California. I've never had, every time I've called them, the load's not available or they don't even answer the phone. So I know all this is all brokered freight, and they're probably not even good loads. So that's kind of the status of the board right now, and yeah, it's just not very good. So basically that's where we're at right now. And like I said, I did a say no to cheap freight video a while back, if you watched that. And like I said, I think it's a matter of volume is the problem out here right now. There's just no loads, and it's a free market, and it's to the shippers and the consignees' advantage right now, because you got more carriers, owner operators, and everybody else out here that are fighting for these loads, and they can pretty much pay as little as they want, and then somebody's going to take it. So it's you got guys that got cheap costs that I mean, if they can make 50 cents and run their trucks into the ground or whatever they're going to do, they're going to do it. You got guys that got big payments, and they got to make ends meet and make those payments. So I mean, they're going to run just to cover their costs, so they don't lose their trucks. You got team drivers out there. If you got 2 or 3 people, I mean, yeah, there's literally, I think I seen a video with Sierra England where they actually put like a bunk above. They basically have 4 bunks in the truck, or enough they can put 4 people in a truck. So and I don't know if that's for training or what they're doing, but I just seen the video of it and I thought it was pretty crazy. But if you've got 3 people in a truck, and that truck is running 24 hours a day basically, that lowers the fixed cost. Because once you pay your truck payment, your insurance, all that, that's paid for. So it doesn't matter how much you run. The more you run, it gets cheaper per mile. So if you got a couple guys in a truck, I mean, they can run a lot cheaper. So I mean, I know what my costs are and what I'm going to do, and I know what I'm going to run for. And if I can't get what I want, then I'll stay home. I mean, I got a little money right hold away, and you know, I'll be good through June if I have to. I mean, I had some financial goals out here, and looking to get out of this house and do something else to be announced. And so I was looking to progress those plans, but kind of with the thing, might get kind of backburnered for a couple months, and we'll see what happens. But so I mean, you got to know what your costs are and what you can do it. And for me right now, it's if things don't improve, I'll just sit it out for a few weeks, and I've got other things I can do here, other projects, and I know everybody's not in that situation, and I feel for you, but like I said, good luck out there, and that's like what we have for an update. Like I said, I hope I was going to have better news today, but if anything changes, I will be sure to update. And we thank everybody for the comments and all that. I try to get back as quick as sometimes I was busy. We have had good weather, so I haven't been able to get back to some of the comments as quick as I'd like to. But I try to get back to everybody on there. But again, we thank you for watching, and like the videos if we're helping you out, and subscribe, and we'll keep putting them out. So thanks for watching.